Hi, this is Father Kelly. Just finished my first triathlon. Wanted to share some thoughts. Nothing whatsoever to do with the triathlon, but I always think of things. I'm like, oh, I'll do a podcast or something about that later. Literally never happens. So that, you know what, sitting in Sonic, waiting for my food after the race. Gonna do this now. I enjoy this kind of activity. Hold on, I enjoy the contrast of doing a triathlon, or this sort of athletic thing in a town like Fairview, Oklahoma, because it's not what you would expect. And it really stood out because the park where we did the triathlon is right next to the rodeo arena. So as you've got all of these kind of trendy athletic people, not all ever, you know what I mean, the people that do these kinds of things, coming into this early Saturday morning event. It started at 7 a.m. You have that right next to the people who are also doing early Saturday morning stuff with horse trailers and things like that. And, let's be honest, those are usually two pretty different crowds. It's not like there's one is bad and one is good. They're just very different things. What made this stood out to me, during the race, there was a volunteer who helped, he would park his vehicle across a certain part of the road, make sure you turn this direction so you keep on course, etc. That kind of guy. Except that it was a big overweight dude in overalls and his big diesel pickup, which just struck me as this really funny crossover between the rural stuff. Like, this guy looks like he should be at the rodeo arena fairgrounds part, not the athletic people triathlon part. Yet here he was, dutifully volunteering in his, I presume, his hometown to help out with the triathlon. And so, just sort of a fun, crossing over of the things. And thinking about it as I was pulling out of the park, out of the area there, again, admiring all the horse trailers and the people who have, I'm sure, gotten up probably just as early as the people who ran the race did. That we all want something to do that's important. We all need some kind of labor and activity. To just sit around and lay around is not what we're made for. But there's, I don't know, I guess it just strikes me as funny that there's, interesting aspect of human nature that some people, that turns in, because of how you're raised, where you live, whatever, that becomes, getting up early to take care of the horses and cows and go to a rodeo and do all that sort of agricultural type morning labor. But those of us who didn't have that kind of thing, don't have that kind of work to be doing, we find other things like getting up at dark 30 to drive an hour to come do a triathlon. Neither is bad. I like both of them. Some mornings going to the rodeo arena would be more fun, but also triathlon was fun. But the dude with the overall sitting on his pickup bed telling people which way to go for the race, that just struck me as a sort of a fitting bridge between the two things. That they're really not, they're not totally different ideas. They're not, the two different groups probably aren't going to go have lunch later, but there's a similar kind of virtue happening in both cases, even though it looks really different. And human life is a lot like that. We all got to have something to do, and it takes different forms, but there's a striving for virtue happening there no matter what. So, hope that was an interesting thought. Those are just the kind of things that I think of. Dude in overalls on a pickup bed gives me philosophical thoughts. So do with that what you will, but I thought it was a fun thing to share. Making a video now because I know if I sit here and eat my Sonic and start driving home, it'll literally never happen. So hope that was interesting to hear about. God bless. See y'all later.